doesn't happen if you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes. You know what I mean?
If I don't embrace the mystery, I'm
Right.
stuck in a current paradigm that never changes. God just planted my feet and said, I've got the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
That's a taste of from Jesus' lips. This week's episode of The Wise Guys, a podcast that unleashes the unthinkable in culture, religion, business, and everyday life. This week, the guys dissected a social media post that limited some of Jesus' teachings to narrow, dualistic truths. So, it's time to step over the line, strap in, and see if you are willing to let Mac, the Rev, and Coach Stu take you to a place of thinking differently.
Welcome to The Wise Guys, a podcast where we unleash the unthinkable and step over the line to help us see things differently, go to the inside edge to stimulate new thinking and new realities that plant a promise, an alternative, and an energized hope. I know that's a mouthful, but that's what we're up to. Okay. We might even answer some questions that you haven't even thought to ask, and then we know we've got a touchdown. All right, so welcome. Hi, I'm Mac, your host. And in this episode, we literally just went out and saw some stuff that came across on social media, and it had to do with, what did Jesus say? These were things from Jesus' lips. And we're going to get a little different perspective on that maybe and stimulate some of your thinking, not just about maybe what you might read in the Bible, but we're going to help you maybe apply it to just life in general. Doesn't have to be anything to do with the Bible. So stay tuned. We're really going to dig into that, three of us. So, hey, guys.
Good to see you, man. You gave me the side eye there. I heard it. It's like, don't get too biblical on this, Rev. You know, let's apply it to life. You got it. I'm on the right page.
You're good. Okay.
If anybody should,
I don't know. You guys are pretty smart.
Just saying.
This will be fun. We're going to have a good time with this one. All right. Hey, Stu.
Hey, how you guys doing? Coach is here. And I want to say hello to all of you beautiful exotic cocktails out there. We love that you're here.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we do. Thanks for listening in. Tell everybody about us for sure. You go to the website and you want to get involved in our cafe conversation. We've got some really cool questions that we'll pose in the cafe about the episode, and you can get together yourself if you want. Just ponder our questions. You want to give us some feedback. Get together with some.
I'm going to have
friends.
to come up with some new questions because we haven't gone yet, and I already posed the questions. I'm open and receptive to change.
Good. I'm not saying that some of those weren't good, though. Those were good questions, all right? So join with us as we go on this biblical red letter journey, all right? And I got a story for you guys.
Bring it on.
Okay?
Here we go.
That's kind of applicable. No, it's applicable. We're talking. They never know what's going to come out of my mouth, so I got to watch out here. All right. So there's this story about two rabbis. All right. And every Saturday, these two rabbis would argue about the same passages from the Bible. Right, the Old Testament, obviously, all right? And it was just week after week, they would just be at each other. And God's looking down on this every single week, and he's going, man, these guys, are you kidding me? Come on, what? Finally, he gets so fed up with the banter and with the whole conversation. He comes down, and he goes to those guys, and he says, guys, Rabbi, hang on a second, okay? You guys need to stop this. I'm getting so tired of this. I'm just going to tell you so that we can resolve it and move on. And they had a fit. They were like, absolutely not. Don't you dare tell us what it means, okay? We love the fact that we got to wrestle with it, all right? And that we have to just chew on it. And maybe we don't come to a conclusion. So don't you dare give us the truth on these passages. And I thought that was just a great story to kind of get us into what we're talking about here tonight, because a lot of times we as Christians especially, but I'm just going to kind of even keep it broader than that, we love to grasp onto our truths.
That's the truth.
Right? Pun intended. We just hold. So I think I did a meme one time that said, how tightly do you hold onto your truths? Be careful. There's a short distance between white knuckles and bloody ones, right?
I got to tell you, I love that story because people always want to know. right? And I think we miss a lot by knowing sometimes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of life, a lot of thinking, a lot that just gets missed. And a lot of who you become doesn't happen if you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
If I don't
You know what I mean?
embrace the mystery, I'm stuck in a current paradigm that never changes. I've just planted my feet and said, I've got the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And then God comes down and has a conversation, and we say, get out of the way, God. I've already got the truth. And the universe is tapping you on the shoulder saying, no, there's way more. Pay attention. Get away, God. And God shows up in many forms and in many faces.
Well, we're real good at our biases. All of the whole kit and caboodle of us, right? That we love to confirm and we love to keep things comfortable. And we lead just day after day after day after day. Well, if you've been listening to us at all, or if this is the first time you're listening to us, that is not where we're going. All right? And that is absolutely not what we're going to encourage you to do. The music to our ears, we were talking about this earlier, right?
Yeah.
Is
If we hear, I never thought about it like that.
yes,
That's the best. I love being able to say that.
right.
You are a rare
Yes.
bird. And the reality is, I think that's the mystery right there. If more of us just said, I never thought about it that way, or tell me more. Boy, we open up to something so beautiful we can't even comprehend it.
Right.
So let's
Right.
open that.
All the above, and it's not for us. It's fun, right? We love it.
So I have a challenge for the Rogers.
Yes.
Not only in listening to this episode of the podcast, but just over the next week, look for reasons to say that to yourself.
Oh, yeah, that's
Never
awesome.
thought about it like that. You don't even have to be in a conversation with anybody. You could be hearing something or hearing a conversation. You could say, wow, I never thought about
Well,
it
this
like that.
podcast, is it possible that the people listening can suspend completely any thought of I'm going to be threatened by what somebody just said? That there might be wisdom or a gift or some light that's going to come through if I can say that, as opposed to putting up the wall. Okay.
You can do it.
I believe we
You can do
can.
it.
It can be
It's
done.
okay. It's a safe place. You can do it.
It can be done, and we'd love for you to share it with us.
Yeah, please.
If you do, okay, because that's how we all learn.
Yeah.
We don't have it locked in by any means.
Every
So,
podcast,
hello.
Mac says something that makes me go, okay, breathe, Richard. Breathe, Rick.
Hey, you know the coach's wisdom is to keep breathing, right? Keep breathing, keep moving.
Just don't turn blue. Okay, please, no, don't go there. All right. So we're going to go out tonight, and we're going to take a posting that was out there on the internet. And it has to do with words of Jesus. That's why we titled the episode that we have, the red letters, if you're biblical and you know that kind of thing. It's the red letters in the Bible. That's what Jesus said, right? And here's the thing. Let's just start out with something general. All right? Maybe we don't even have to talk about the Bible yet, all right? So here's the thing. In a general sense, you're going to run up against stuff. Whether it's on the internet, certainly social media, you're having a conversation with somebody at work, doesn't matter. You're going to be out there, and you're going to hear something that you just know is blatantly false. I mean, it just ain't true. Okay, that's category number one. What do you do with that, right? Number two is somebody just has an opinion, right? This is their opinion. They look at it this way. This is their lens. And you may not agree with it, or you may confirm it, all right? But that's another part that goes into your grid. That's information that comes into you, and how do you disseminate it? Mm-hmm. Third one can be that there is an attack or a correction that needs to be made, okay, or not needs to be made, but might be made. And how much bandwidth do you really leave? We already talked about this, right? How much bandwidth do you leave that says, I don't agree with that. I think it's wrong. I'm not so sure. But
there's a huge chasm between attack and correction. There's a whole middle ground there between those two polar opposites. And I think it's important to recognize that.
Absolutely.
And conversation.
What a concept.
Got to add that to it.
What a concept.
Right.
So, you can react in all these ways, right? But again, the encouragement is to leave enough bandwidth and to learn relationally that if you have a differing opinion, or if you know something, to share it in a way that's loving, and to share it in a way that is constructive.
So I just want to share with everybody to pay attention to what triggers you, there's growth there if you pay attention to it. Because a lot of times once you get triggered, your ears get turned off, and your brain gets turned off. Your heart gets turned off, right?
We're gonna
And
talk
you
about the
stiff
heart.
arm. So I just pay attention to it because it's going to happen. I mean, we get triggered. You have to practice to not get triggered.
Correct.
Right. So
Right.
just pay attention to
Good
it.
advice, man. That's
Yeah.
good advice. I love it. So, in all of this, what we tend to want to do as a culture, I'm not going to speak about anybody else but us here, us Americans, right? And whether we're in the church or we're not in the church, or if people of faith, but we love for there to be in conversation or in perspective this idea of duality. Now, you may not be real familiar with that term. Maybe you don't use it all the time, right? But it's really the idea that it's this, and then there's the opposite. There's the black, and then there's the white, right? There's the in, and there's the out. There's the like us, and there's the not like us, right? I mean, there's this whole idea that, you're with me or you're against me, or, that kind of whole dualistic kind of thing.
So they're typically like opposites.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say or no?
Not necessarily. I mean, they can be, but I would look at them more as just you're part of my tribe or you're not. All right, or things have to be this way, and they can't be both.
Right.
Right? They can't be. It's either and or. It's either or instead of and or.
Paradox does not exist in that environment. It has to be one or the other.
Right. It's a dualistic thing where we want to separate stuff out. I heard this years ago, and I thought it was really good. Subconsciously, the way our culture is today, I'm a baby boomer, right? And what did I learn when I was in elementary school? They put down a piece of paper in front of me, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and they had all these little pictures, right? And then they had a bat, and they had a ball, and they had a duck, and they had whatever. And what were you tasked to do? You were tasked to choose the one that's not like the others.
That's fun.
One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong. Where'd that come from? Channeling Sesame Street.
Sounds like the Rev was there with you.
But I mean, think about that from a psychological, deep-seated, when you go through years of learning, and that's the way you were taught to learn, to distinguish that one is different than all the others.
So you're looking for what's different instead of looking for what's the same.
Exactly. Exactly. Think about that if you just turned it around.
Early
Yeah, just flip
entrenchment and compartmentalization to keep ourselves safe.
Yeah.
What if everything belonged? Let's think outside the box. What if everything belonged? That you're going to get an F in the class, of course. But in life, maybe you're going to get an F on Earth School because of the paradigm that's currently driving the planet. Let's just go outside the box and say, what if everybody belongs? Every opinion has value, even if I know that it's wrong in my world. I don't know.
Yeah.
Open.
That's a tough one.
So I know we need to get to the things that Jesus did not say, etc. Right? But I'm asking for permission to make one point.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Based on your story of when you were a kid in school.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is what I would like to see people do. All of you beautiful exotic cocktails out there, is instead of looking for what's different in one another, look for what's the same. Even if you don't think, especially if you look at somebody and think there is absolutely nothing the same between the two of us. I guarantee you there's something. You just have to look and find it. So that's I know I'm giving a lot of homework this podcast, but that's another thing to do this week.
Well, you can just start at the fact that we're both human beings.
There you go. There you go.
So
let's do something a little bit more than that.
Well,
That's
I
easy.
agree.
That's an easy way out.
There is commonality, though.
Well, and you have
true.
to seek
You
to
can
understand in order to get there. You've got to seek to put your ears on before you open your mouth. Give your heart access to this other person before you turn your brain on to start judging them.
Here we go.
Oh, gosh, Rev.
You're the one giving homework.
All right.
You're the one giving homework.
I mean, that's the story of my life. No respect. No respect.
I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Rodney. Okay. So we're going to get into it now. We're going
Yes.
to kind of get into
do it.
the theological part of this. We've kind of talked a little bit more in general and lifestyle, and I think all those things are really very important.
Yes.
And I will say this, and maybe I can kind of frame this and where we're going around a general idea that I have, that I've experienced anyway. How can I say? But in my Christianity, for many years, we tended to fear culture's influence on theology. Right? So the culture was always the bad guy. Right? We can't let culture influence us. We have to stand apart from it.
We locked the church doors to evolution getting in.
That might be a meme.
I was going to say, there's a meme in there.
I love that. We've locked the church doors
To letting evolution in.
to letting evolution in. Yes. Hello. Do you? Whoa, Rev. You just went down to chase a squirrel, but I think everybody needs to pay attention. Does your religion, does your theology evolve? Oh, there's a great
Collectively
question.
and individually, because the church is in my head. I lock the doors to my head.
So let me phrase it in a Coach Stu for Coach Stu to be able to understand it.
Okay.
Does your view on God change as you experience life? Like I know my view of God when I was a kid is different than today. That's okay, and that's okay.
right.
I mean, because I'm different, and I know different things than So
Well, and not only does life experience teach you different things that you didn't know then, but also we would like to think that this podcast is helping you evolve your consciousness as well to where this unseen, the unspoken, the mystery, as the Rev was talking about earlier, begins to become part of the equation.
So my thirst to know God becomes more potent and powerful than my fear of what is out there.
And a lot of times it's the fear of getting it wrong.
Or being proven
what
wrong.
if?
What if the culture out there is going to prove that what I believe for the last 60 years is wrong? Oh, no, I'll just lock the doors and live under my delusion.
Well, because I like my issues.
like
just
my
the way
issues
they are.
just the way they are. Think about all those people that believe the world was flat.
Well,
And I'm not sailing that ship down in that ocean because I'm going to go off the edge. And all of a sudden, their world got turned,
and there's
turned
It
around.
took a lot of
Zillion
courage and risk
examples
to
of
do
that.
that, but I think religion
Yeah.
has to risk a little bit and have a little.
So that seems silly, right, to say today because of what we know. But there was a time where people didn't know that. So that's what I'm talking about. Like evolution happens in what we know and what we think. So, why would we not see things or have a different relationship maybe in this day and age with God than maybe back, let's say before Jesus was on the earth?
Or if
Yeah,
we
well, that's
become the
Old
two
Testament.
rabbis that are having an argument, we love our argument and our debate, and God comes
Don't
in.
tell us, God.
God,
Don't
will you
tell
go
us.
away? We're having an argument right now. We don't need your truth.
We like our banter.
We like
we
our
enjoy
banter.
this.
Yeah,
We're going to
that's-
harmonize it next time.
That's the other side of that. That's good. So there we are, guys. Rogers, listen to this. I mean, I hope you're getting the nugget here that says we have had to this point, right now, this moment, culturally as well as individually, an understanding of God. It is for you, whatever it is. It is for your tribe or whatever you run in, your church, your religion in
And
general.
it's
whatever it
beautiful,
might
it's
be.
holy, it's necessary, it's important. We're not asking you to throw it away, but just open it up a little bit.
Well, except that's what Jesus did. He took Jewish theology, right? And he didn't throw the baby out with the bathwater, but he just said it's time to think higher. It's time to think.
He clearly said it. I'm not here to abolish what you've been believing. I'm here to fulfill it.
Exactly. So we pulled this off the internet. Somebody had written a thing that this baby said 5 things that Jesus did not say. So not this person debunked what culture a lot of times is what I'm taking. Where did they get this from? And then gave what he did say. All right. And so what we want to offer is a challenge that might say, and the Rev brought this up earlier. This was a great perspective that I hadn't even thought about. No, man, it was awesome. He said, well, maybe neither one of them, or maybe both of them isn't necessarily really what he said. Well, how about that one? Okay. Even though this person might have pulled a red letter out of their Bible, can you be open to the possibility that maybe that isn't exactly what he said 2,000 years ago, and then grid that? I mean, we're not going to say it doesn't have value, but hold it a little more loosely.
If we get
let's
stuck on words and we miss the intent, then we're going to be the rabbis arguing.
Right.
So are you going to say these 5 things and then we talk about them, or are we going to go one at a time?
We're going to go one at a time.
Doing?
We're going to go one at a time.
All right, let's do it.
So number 1, okay, Jesus did not say, according to this person now, follow your heart. What he did say was follow me. Okay, so now think about that for just a second. Jesus did not say follow your heart. He said follow me. Now, what do we do with that? Okay, how do we grid that? First of all, the red letters in most people's Bible anyway would acknowledge that he did say follow me.
Right.
That's what we get out of today's translation and interpretation of the Bible, for the most part, right? I mean, I'm not gonna. That's pretty common. Follow me.
Jesus did talk about the heart in the Bible. The way I look at something like this is I try to imagine like I'm walking with Jesus, like he's here. This as real as you two are sitting in front of me, and of course you guys would say to me, "Yeah, follow your heart." Like I believe Jesus would think and say that too, whether it was specifically written down or not. I think he wants that for us. He places an importance on the heart in our relationship with God. So why would he not want us to follow it?
The heart being the center of love. He talked about love, and if you draw that parallel, he said it over and over and over again in one form or another. And if we have a personal relationship, I break it down. Jesus was a man, and then there was a Christ essence. When he's saying follow me, he's speaking from the Christ. I have a personal relationship with that energy, that power. Right. And that power tells me all the time, follow your heart. It also says follow me. It makes that's the difference what he's talking about, because it's all the same thing. It's the same principle and idea. That means let love lead. He lived from love, and he taught from love, and that's where we know the heart exists is in love. Then do that.
Well, don't create this dualistic thinking. Oh, heart here, Jesus here. And it's so easy to do because we're going to compartmentalize it. And I've always said this for years, that we have taken Jesus' divinity and sacrificed his humanity on the altar of his divinity. I mean, I love to say things like, are you Christian? Well, I am on the way of Jesus of Nazareth. Okay?
Right.
That his way. Follow what? Follow him. Follow him in his way. So again, we're gonna try to bring these together to say we don't have dualistic. Everything that we're going to talk about is relevant.
Everything.
Yeah.
We're not debunking any of
If
these.
somebody has read the words of Jesus and maybe remembered them incorrectly, who is following their heart and doing great, tremendous things to create love on the planet, how dare I say, well, you're wrong, you're bad, you got it all screwed up, you need to do it differently. The reading of the word, whatever they got was the message they needed, and they're bringing value to the planet. Let me encourage it and not knock it down. Both and, not either or.
There it is, both and. Love that. There it is.
Amen. Yeah.
Okay. And again, we've got to stop all this separation out there all the time. It's not what God wants in my opinion, for sure, because he talks so much about oneness. I mean, that's just
what he
so
didn't say was worship me. I want to get real clear about that. It says follow me.
Follow, yeah.
Yeah, there it goes. All right, so that was number 1. Jesus didn't say follow your heart. He said follow me. Let's go to number 2. Jesus did not say be true to yourself. What he said was, whoever wants to be my disciple must deny himself. Got that? But now, here, let me just back up a little bit here. We're going to put this in the episode notes. All right, these 5 things, and in both comments on them. So just know that if you need to, you can go back to reference them in the notes. All right. So be true to yourself. No. Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny himself. Yes.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
So what is being true to yourself? It's to me, it's behaving in accordance with your beliefs and values, doing what you think is right. Like that's being authentic. That's believing in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But check this out. This is the meme. You ready?
Okay.
Rev's got one. I need one. So Jesus is called to deny oneself and follow him. Is an invitation to be true to yourself by following him.
Oh, see, they're one and the same. They're not mutually exclusive. Is that what you're trying to say here,
Yes.
Stu?
That'll fly.
I love that. That's right.
When we're talking about
it.
self, you got to draw. Once again, I'm going to go back to Jesus, the man, a lowercase s self, his personality. He had that. He got angry and upset. There was also the capital S, the big S self. I like to say that's the Christ. I have that too, and so when I'm being asked to deny myself, it's deny the personality, the ego, the small part of myself that is private to it, and get in touch with the capital S self, the Christ, as saying, follow this example, come with me, which is the Christ, which is the essence of the light, the love, the spirit, the God essence that's in, through, and around all creation, not just Jesus. Okay, the lightning's going to hit me. Not just Jesus, but the Christ is inviting me into an experience of the Christ that's existing at this table right now.
Absolutely. We have talked about this on previous episodes, and we'll continue to talk about it because we believe in it so deeply that we have the Christ essence within. Jesus said it. Okay, I mean, it's not like we're making it up, all right? We have it. It's part of us. So myself, to be true to myself is to be true to my
Your
Christ
capital
essence.
S self, your big S self.
Yes, right, not the egoic self. Exactly. So it's an evolution, Okay? Yeah. So anyway, that's another way to look at it. Think about it. And what we've got to stop doing is taking this theology that really kind of started with Augustine and deride ourself, our humanity, and us as people and human beings, and we can continue to put us down there lower than whale dung, all right? That's just not the case, but we live in that place, and so we grit our theology through it all the time. So with that, I'm going to let you think about it. I'm going to tease you a little bit here because we've got 3 more of them, and we're going to get through, hopefully. We're going to take a little break, and then we're going to come back and talk about living your truth, and how about believing in yourself, and as long as you are happy. Think about those things. We're going to come back. We'll be right back.
Like what you hear so far? Join us in the Rogue Nation by going to our website, www.gorogue.life, where you will find links to our social media and podcast channels, posts on the Seeing Differently blog, and a way to subscribe to all our happenings. We encourage you to become a member of our cafe, where you can interact with us and fellow Roguers and keep the conversation going. Please share us and like us. And now, let's get back to our Wise Guys.
All right, welcome back to the Wise Guys podcast, and where we've been talking about 5 things that somebody said Jesus didn't say, and then gave some alternatives to what he did, and we're kind of just fleshing a few of those out. So we've already been through a couple of them. Let's go to the 3rd one now. And here's what Jesus did not say. He did not say, believe in yourself. What he said was, believe in me.
Okay.
Do not, you cannot believe in yourself. You need to believe in me.
So who is the me, or what is the me that he's referring to?
Okay.
Is it a man? Is it a personality? A man who walked the planet? Or is it something higher and greater?
Well, I think it's faith in his teachings, in Jesus' teachings, and developing a personal relationship with him. I think that's what he means by that, and in turn, like you get to be transformed. I mean, that's how I see follow.
Well, what are the ways that maybe that first statement might hold some truth?
Believe in yourself.
Yeah. What are some ways that we can get tripped up a little bit where we are placing too much emphasis maybe on ourselves, or we're believing in our abilities that aren't there necessarily? We're believing in our capacity to do certain things, to do good maybe? I mean, where could a false belief in ourselves come from?
Well, the coach said it, have a personal relationship. I'm having a personal relationship with an essence and a power, not a man. Not Jesus, but the essence. And he's asking me to follow that essence within me. And not the lowercase s self of me, but the big S self. I want to have a personal relationship, and I want to believe in that part of me that absolutely is above the thoughts, above the history, above anything I've ever believed.
Yeah. Hello.
There's two parts of us, a human and a spiritual. We're both.
Yeah.
And he's pointing us in the direction of our spirit.
Right.
I talk about this a lot in coaching, especially with the young ones that I have, about believing in yourself. And I always tell them beginning of the season, I'm going to help you do things you don't even know you can do.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. And think in ways you don't even know that you can think. And to me, this is what, like, Jesus does this for us. You know,
the Spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. So of course he may not specifically said believe in yourself, but this is what he's teaching us to do.
Right. Well, and I think he's also, though, when he does say believe in me, that what gets shed, Rev's already said it, is the ego. And so we certainly can go to a place where we believe too much in our posturing, in our egoic self, in our all of that kind of place that goes to a darkness that it's difficult then to accept the Christ essence, that we've got to overcome some of those tendencies. And it's a process, it's a transformation. I think you use that word, Stu.
Yeah,
right?
It's a transformation, yeah.
Your students that you're coaching have a finite ability to wrestle. You get them in touch with something that they've never done before. That's the Christ. That's the power. That's the potential and the possibility. That's what Jesus is doing. He's the coach saying, you're not defined by your limitations. He told it over and over again. You're not defined by the malady or the leprosy or the blindness. You're defined by what I see in you. And he's saying, elevate your consciousness and your focus. That's what you're doing for the wrestlers.
Right.
And then they suddenly do things they couldn't do before.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the or better thing, right?
With God, all things are possible. So look at the God self, not the human self.
I love it, man. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, Jesus can see the potential in us that we just can't even see.
Of course.
And it's okay we don't see it. This is, part of living life, but he helps us to get there.
Sure.
To see something higher for ourselves.
And we have to believe in it, him.
Yeah. So that's okay. I mean, again, what we're showing or what we're trying to get across, if hopefully this is coming across, is that it's all true, right? All of these things, this one's not and this one is, right? They all go together, right? They're not mutually exclusive.
I'm going to believe in all parts of me so I can achieve.
Yeah.
And when I believe in all parts and aspects of me, suddenly I do more than I ever thought was possible.
Amen, man. There it is. There's the call to action. We haven't even got there yet, but that's the call to action. All right. So 5 things. That's number 3. All right. Number 4. Jesus did not say, live your truth. What he did say was, I am the truth. Jesus did not say, live your truth. He said, I am the truth.
That seems like a newer phrase, doesn't it? Like I'm thinking a couple hundred years ago, you didn't hear that, live your truth. That seems like something newer to like our generation. You know what I mean? Yeah, dude.
Live your truth, dude.
Some surfer said it somewhere.
Yeah, I think it was a Woodstock. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Oh, I mean, this, living your truth to me just, I think encourages people to be more authentic. That's what that means to me, and really kind of accept yourself.
Right.
I mean, that's what it's all about. And to be authentic. I say this all the time: is you got to be vulnerable.
Right.
To be authentic.
Well, again, where does a lot of this from this person? but I guarantee you this person isn't alone, all right? Where a lot of this comes from is fear. There's a fear factor built into, for instance, danger, Will Robinson. You can't live your truth because it's corrupted, because it's going to take you to a bad place. It's not godly. It's you're making up what you think is the truth. And that's not what God had in mind because it's not in the Bible or whatever it might be, right? I mean, this is where this is grounded. All right, so let's just understand the fear that we might have in there, that can I trust me living my truth?
You know, he said he was the light of the world.
Yeah.
And then he told us we were the light of the world. So he's saying here, I am the truth. I am the light. But he also says, and so are you. So that truth that is stirring, those ideas and those notions and possibilities that stir within you, that's a direct relationship with the Christ. And I draw that distinction. I know I'm beating a dead horse, but you got to separate the man from the the essence.
That horse ain't dead. Don't worry.
I'm going to ride it until I die. But the reality is he's saying, go ahead and live your light.
Yes.
Live your truth. He's saying it's implied, it's implicit in his, I am the truth.
Well, where
Then
does your
live
truth
me.
come from? That's
It
right.
comes from my heart, following my heart. It comes from the essence of the Christ that he pointed me towards that lives within me.
Absolutely. Hello, guys. You guys getting this? Hey, hello out there. Hello.
I don't know. Stu's shaking his head.
Hello. You getting it out there? All right. You picking up on the theme here, right? All right. Come on. All right. Come with us. Right, Stu, you got anything?
I'm with it. My head's exploding at the moment. Yeah. There's an explosion going on.
Oh, God.
It's all good. Yeah.
Yes. So, again, we think we're going to say to you that, yes, he's the truth, but we're also living that truth, which is my truth. Okay? Same. Right? Tomato. All right. So that was number 4, correct?
Yes.
Last one. Here we go. Now, this is a good one. Jesus did not say, as long as you are happy. Okay, there's a cultural,
Right.
problem going on right there. What he did say was, what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world but loses his soul?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So God got nothing to do with our happiness, I guess. That's so according to this anyway. So here we go. All right, I think Stu was saying earlier, okay, if I was walking with Jesus and we were just kind of hanging, man, and we were having a burger and a fry and whatever it might be, and whatever we were doing, and you looked at him and you said, hey, can I ask you a question, man? Can I ask you a question? Do you want me to be happy? Right? I mean, is that part of the deal here, or what's going on?
I heard Jesus say yes when that question came up. He wants us to be happy.
Yeah.
He might tell you to be happy, but eat something different than a hamburger.
That might be true too. Yeah.
I mean,
hamburgers make me happy.
I get the comparison because whoever wrote this is wanting to put value on your soul, right? And there is value in that, and so I think they're assuming to me that if you're doing what makes you happy, that's not good for your soul, and I wouldn't say that that's true,
Right.
Right? If you're doing all the other things we talked about, following Jesus, etc., following him, and if you're living that kind of a life of what makes you happy will fulfill your soul, right?
True. Yeah.
I draw a really clear
nurture
distinction
it.
between happiness and joy. And I think when we're looking at these scriptures, he wants joy, which is not circumstantial. Happiness is circumstantial. I get a hamburger, I like it, it tastes good, I'm happy. I don't like it, I'm unhappy.
Right.
Happiness is a very human condition.
Yeah.
Joy is a relational. So it's one circumstantial. Happiness is circumstantial. If things match up the way I want them, I'm happy.
Right.
But if I have a relationship with the essence that Jesus is pointing me towards, the Christ, that's joy. No matter how you show up, no matter how good the meal is or bad the meal is, I am connected to something far greater than this experience.
Yeah, that's a great distinction. I like that. That's really good. So again, they're not mutually exclusive, but they're different, right? And so just understand that there's a deeper seated spiritual cultivation. And then there's, like, as Rev says, a situational, right? But again, if Jesus really said those words, What will it profit a man if he gains the world but loses his soul? What's he saying there?
It's the happiness. I've got all the happiness in the world, but I've lost my soul to get it because I don't have the joy, the connection to something greater.
Yes. Okay. It's a caution against.
You can look at it like, worldly possessions, like you have everything, or even achievements.
Right.
Yep.
That you have in life. And
so
but if you did that and sacrificed maybe who you are, your character, the things that make up your soul.
There's a good caution here.
Right.
I mean,
I loved watching the Olympics this week, and there were athletes that did not get the gold, but they, for the sheer joy of being involved in the sport and the competition and the camaraderie with the competitors, they were smiling from ear to ear with a bronze medal.
Right.
I was here. I had the experience. That's joy. I didn't win the gold. Oh, I'm unhappy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I had, but there's a huge distinction to be made there.
Well,
they're looking at what truly matters to them.
right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's...
Well, I think we did a meme one time that said, you got to look past what happens to what matters. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, take the caution. Jesus said it, and that was for a reason. It's there for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And accept it and understand it, but grit it in such a way that flows around and through your joy and your happiness, right? And however you want to, look at those. Like Rev made a great point there.
Both and.
Yeah, right.
I believe God's will, the Christ's will, Jesus' will is for me to be happy and joyous and fulfilled at all times.
Amen. Let's just drop the mic right there.
Let me have a hamburger.
There you go. You
Got to
can
get
have
Jesus to
hamburger.
talk to my doctor, though. I disagree.
Right. Yeah.
Talk to my wife. That's what's going to get me, okay?
Maybe he can change that hamburger into something healthy.
Yeah, like a bean burger. Or something. Yeah. Okay.
Turning hamburgers into wine.
Good stuff, guys. Those were the 5. Okay? Those were the 5. I'm just going to go real quick. Don't follow your heart. Don't be true to yourself. Don't believe in yourself. Don't live your truth. And you can't, it's not about your happiness. Okay? Those were the no-nos. All right? And all we're saying is match them up with the yeses, with the attaboys that the person put in there, and to treat it all as one. It all works. We don't have to separate anything out, So, we're going to take our little triad perspectives. We talk a lot of time about maverick, mystic, and mentor, right? And so how would we look at the maverick in this? Do you ever think outside the box? Do you ever think outside of what you read in your norm, the blue pill? Have a maverick mentality that goes there.
Yeah, every day.
Right?
Every
that
day.
just says, wait a minute, I hadn't thought about it that way. Let me listen to something I haven't listened to before. Let me talk to somebody I haven't. So be the maverick.
I question everything, not to question everything, but because it always leads to my growth, my spiritual growth, and just my growth in general. So, why wouldn't I do that?
Right. Well, that's because you're a maverick, Stu.
There you go.
It is a part maverick. Okay. How about mystic? Where's the Holy Spirit involved in all this? The answer is
in all of it? Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, in all of it.
In all of it.
Right.
Tapping us on the shoulder as as 2 rabbis arguing. And the Holy Spirit's here going, can I get a word in edgewise?
Boy, that's great advice. Can the Holy
Yeah.
Spirit get a word in edgewise in your conversations? Think about that. There's a
Holy
good
Spirit, have your people call my people.
I love that. There's going to be a meme in there somewhere too, okay? So there's the mystic part. How about the mentor part? How about can we apply mentorship to this whole thing? Maybe in greater understanding, offering grace to other people and deeper love to one another and encouraging that, not only in ourselves and developing it, but then being a light and exemplifying that and being, what do we call it? Being God's distribution center of love, right? That's our purpose. Okay.
Jesus is my great master teacher. That's how I see him. And he said as much with his actions as he did with his words. So it may not be in the red letter version, but it's something he did that spoke and taught way more. And he absolutely demonstrated following his heart. He demonstrated being true to himself. So you look at his actions, because there are things that are more powerful. The loudest voice in the room is not necessarily the most powerful. Watch people. Pay attention. That's what the mentor does. Watch me. That's what the coach does. Let me show you, as opposed to just telling you.
Okay, Rev, doggone it. You got my head exploding right now, just like happens with Stu a lot of the time. That's beautiful. I love it. That is so good.
That was perfect.
Yeah, that's a good thing to end on right there. Okay, so there it is. Good stuff tonight, guys.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
I'm always.
Thank you both. Oh
Great,
man, it's been
great
awesome
conversation.
Okay. Thank you for listening. We hope you'll wrestle with some of this. Go out there to the questions like I was talking about before. Sign up on the website. Become a member of the cafe. And we'd love to hear from you, whatever discussions you might be having about some of this kind of stuff, because we all grow from it.
You want to tell us what's coming up? Is there anything coming up that might be juicy?
Gee, I think next week we're diving into the pond, and we don't normally do this, and we're going to try. I think we can be successful at not having to take sides, but we're going to talk about Project 2025. Okay, because it's up there in the field for a lot of you. And just understand this, though. We're going to tease you just a little bit. We're not going to go through it and say, oh, that's good. Oh, no, that's bad.
Not going point by point.
No, yeah. We're not doing 400.
It would be an 8-hour podcast.
Yeah, that's not going to be the intent of that. All right, so I'm got to come back to find out what the intent is, right? So listen to us next week. All right, have a great week. Thanks, guys. We love y'all. Take care.
Wow, you made it and can now unbuckle. Thanks for listening to From Jesus' Lips, where the guys encouraged you to use your maverick, mystic, and mentor abilities to evolve your faith. Remember to visit the website at www.gorogue.life for lots of follow-up information. See the show notes for any links to episode content, and join us in the ongoing cafe conversation, where we post some thought-provoking ideas and challenges for your roguish conversations. Oh, and of course, tell everyone you know about us and like, follow, and engage. Be sure to tune in next week when Mac unleashes another unthinkable conversation. That is, if you dare.